Welcome, everybody. My name's Colton from Zimtu Capital. Today, I'm here with Marc Kealey of Blockchain Venture Capital Inc. It's a publicly listed company trading under the ticker BVCI, focused on the development of its stablecoin, CADT. Marc, thanks for joining me. Can you talk a little bit about what a stablecoin is for people who may not be familiar?
Sure, Colton. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us. Look, I think if people are looking at this is relatively new opportunity for those who are looking at the cryptocurrency marketplace, but it's designed really to address the stable coin. It's designed to address I would say the instability of the cryptocurrencies. If you look at, there's volatility with things like Bitcoin, and stablecoin really stabilizes that. So we're in a position to be really very unique in terms of providing some stability in the marketplace. It's a relatively easy thing to understand when you look at how volatile it is versus the stability of a stablecoin.
And so with stablecoins, the reason for the stability is because each one is pegged to some sort of actual asset, in this case, Canadian dollar, correct?
Right. So we call it fiat in our, everybody talks about it's collateralized against fiat. Yes. And the CADT, we call it, that's our stable coin, CADT. Mm-hmm. And it's really, against the Canadian dollar. It's backed by the Canadian dollar.
So the market,
which puts it in a unique position as well.
Yeah, and actually that's my next question. The market for stablecoins is super large, and there are several entities that people may be familiar with that already offer digital assets pegged to fiat currencies. So what unique value does BVCI provide to its users compared to some of the other stablecoins that we might know of?
Well, I'd say, well, first of all, in Canada, we're the only stablecoin that's been given the regulatory scrutiny. We've undergone and endured that entire process, and it's taken us 6 years to do that.
Yeah, wow.
Look, I mean, it's a long time, and a lot of people are saying, "Wow, how did you do that?" We've got fantastic compliance officers at BVCI. We've got a great CEO and Richard Joe, really, really good people who have done some extraordinary things to undertake and endure the regulatory scrutiny. So, if you're looking at what could really sort of stand the test of time and be what we like to think of as the most unique stable coin on the marketplace, it's CADT, BVCI. And so because we've undertaken that, and because we're really the only one in Canada right now, I think we're in a very unique position to be leaders in this space in Canada, particularly.
Yeah, and we all, if you follow the crypto at all, I'm sure everybody's aware of the regulatory issues with some of the companies that aren't falling under, all the scrutiny that you guys are, and all the work you've done there. So,
well, if you don't mind, because I do think that's an important thing you've made. And look, it's relatively new. There's all sorts of jargon and complicity and complexity to this, and lots of people talk a good game and all those kinds of things. The fact that we've endured this, and the fact that the Ontario Securities Commission and the Canadian Securities Authority have said, look, you guys are really miles ahead of anybody else by undertaking this whole process. And there are a lot of I don't want to call them pretenders so much, Colton, but I'll use that word, that are saying, look, we want to get into this space as well. We really didn't meet all your deadlines, OSC and other securities authorities, but could you wait or make the process longer? And I think they're saying, no, we've had a process. We've asked you to fit into that process. We've done that, and we've done that very effectively. And here we are now. We're the only one that's really endured all of the regulatory scrutiny that's taken place here in Canada.
Yeah. Now, looking forward with BVCI, what are the plans to kind of scale the adoption of it across different markets, and maybe who are some of your target industries or customers?
So, we're looking at this as it's transaction oriented, right? Right. When you think about what this can do, we're at a stage right now where we can address the volatility in the market. Fine, we know that we're backed by fiat, a currency. That's fine. We can other cryptocurrencies could fall underneath this, like Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. And if you look at it as a decentralized finance vehicle, I think we've sort of played that well too. So we're looking at how this could be used, and it's a transactional. For all intents and purposes, the same that you would look at currency. It's a transactional tool.
Mhm.
And so we're looking at, maybe you could buy a car with the stable coin. You could use it to look at purchasing large items, or go on trips, or these kinds of things. So we're looking at all of those kinds of things as the marketplace evolves. But to be very blunt with you, Colton, we've got to look at this so that it really matches the trust that people have in a for all intents and purposes, in a currency.
Sure.
That's not volatile, that has some stability, and that's backed by really good scrutiny, and that we know that we've undertaken that, and it'll make us very, very effective in the marketplace.
So that being said, having every CADT backed by a Canadian dollar held in escrow, how does the company, now I know you mentioned the regulatory things that you've gone through to make this happen, how does the company ensure that this is happening, that there's long-term sustainability, or we don't have, an FTX situation, or, how does the company kind of ensure that?
Well, first of all, and I'll say this from a board member's perspective, we have really good governance. And I think Richard Joe, our CEO, chose people who have expertise in certain areas. My expertise is in governance, especially in transparency and in compliance. So we make sure that all the right and appropriate rules are followed. We're making sure that we'll call that regulatory compliance, real time. And I think this is really important for those who are considering using a CADT, real-time pricing and settlement. And I think those are things that give some comfort and confidence, and that there's huge, as you said at the outset, there's huge industry adoption. So we're not going to be quiet about this. We're the only ones that have done or undertaken the rigorous steps and the complexity that the Securities Commission and not only in Ontario but in other jurisdictions in this country have said, look, we need this to be undertaken. You guys got to put all of the rigor and discipline into that, which we've done. And that in and of itself, Colton, I think adds a lot of, we'll say, confidence to the marketplace. And it's up to us now to make sure that we do the right things without any kind of exaggeration, with a range of good, solid compliance and structure that the industry will adopt.
Yeah, and I think in the cryptocurrency world, some sort of structure like that you guys have made is really valuable. So, and now just to end it off here with a question, just in case somebody might not know, how does the company make money?
So let's delve into this. So the way we make money is there's a how should we say this? We're not charging people to have a CADT. That we make our money obviously on a percentage of the deal, we'll say, of whatever's transacted. So that's how we make our money. And obviously, and I think this is really important for your viewers to understand, is we're not talking about 1, 2, 10 transactions. We're talking about multi-hundreds of millions of transactions. So if you're taking a very slight margin on that, spread out over all of that, it's a very, very lucrative business. Yeah. And with all of the rigor and discipline mixed into it. So we're very, very confident. We're enthused. And the fact that we're the only one in the marketplace, I'm going to suggest to you that we'll be a unicorn.